Welcome to this look at a couple of new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Well, if we haven't got ourselves a weekend treat, this mod, well, these two mods released on Saturday. I'm recording this on Sunday. This is the John Deere 50G mini excavator, crawler excavator, and bucket pack that comes with it. These are both by FS19. The excavator is 15.75 megabytes download. The bucket pack is 2.38 megabytes download. The excavator is 12 slots, and the bucket pack, they are 2 slots each. There are a few of them in this pack. We start off with an 800 litre bucket. We've got a 1,500 litre bucket. We've got a 2,400 litre bucket, and we've got a 3,500 litre bucket. So we've got small, standard, large and extra large bucket. And I'll be honest with you, when you look at the size of them, sometimes you get the excavators and the bucket capacities aren't that great. 3,500 litres, that's pretty good for shifting stuff around, and these will take most crop types. Then we've also got a clamshell, which is 2,500 litres, and then we've got a hydraulic fork, which doesn't have a capacity because it's designed for picking things up, which it does. It's a really nicely designed and made mod. There are 3 different rubberized track treads we can choose from. I think I went for one of each. There's that one, the more V style one. Did I go for a different one on that one? I thought I had. Yeah, and a more open space tread. I was really surprised to see this pop up, but yeah, it's made me smile. This is very nice. Under vehicles and miscellaneous. The 50G is 65 grand. It's only 36 horsepower. It's a small bit of kit. Options available: crawl track A, crawl track B, crawl track C. Those are the options. Now, oddly, it does say on the website bucket color configuration, and it does say no, if you want more accessories available, please use the bucket pack. Well, on console, the standard vehicle doesn't come with a bucket. You have to have the bucket pack to go with it. There's no bucket color configuration option on there. As far as the buckets go, under tools and miscellaneous, so it kind of goes in a weird order, in that the small buckets over here, that's the 800 litre one, costs 400. The 1,500 litre one costs 600. The 2,400 litre costs 800. And the 3,500 is 1,100. Again, brilliant pricing. And this, again, it's John Deere gear. Don't tell anyone, but the slot count's really low. I know, blew my mind as well. And then we've got the hydraulic fork, which is 850, and we've got the clamshell bucket, which is 1,200. That's got a 2,500 litre capacity. They take pretty much everything. Now, each of these has the option to have it in John Deere yellow or black. They all do. Each one has the same option. Let's hop in. Nice animation on the door. We have a beacon on the roof. Horn. Lights. One light on the cab there, then one on the boom. You don't need rear-facing ones when you reverse, because if you're going to be working behind yourself, you're going to turn the whole thing around. So L1 and right stick side to side does that motion, pretty much like a lot of the excavators and cranes we've got. L1 and right stick up and down does that motion. Nice smooth animations and all this. Then R1 and right stick up and down does that. Side to side brings the bucket in or out, like so. L1, R1 and right stick up and down does the blade. So if you want to use it for forestry, for pushing stuff, you can. What you can also do, if you swing it around and you're operating, you can also bring that down and lift the back up a little bit just to give yourself a bit of stability. I mean, to be fair, it's fairly stable. It's a small bit of kit anyway. Now, this does also have a function, which I think is how it's supposed to be operated. I mean, I've always, whenever I've seen excavators, even mini excavators, being operated like this. Should I do the horn? Yeah. In cab, nicely detailed. Visibility is pretty good. So I've always seen them kind of operate like this. But if you do L1 and X, it unfolds the arm. And what that does, it swings the whole thing around to the side, like that. So then what you would do from in cab is you swing out and you look that way and you've got a bigger window. You can kind of, I don't know, you can see better for the work you're doing. Although, that said, let's bring that down. Once you get down to there, you can't actually see the bucket. So if you're working on the ground, it's a little bit tricky to see. And obviously in the real world, you can kind of lean forward a little bit. But it's very cool. Let's fold that back. At least there you've got a little bit more vision up and down, so you can kind of see when the bucket's on the ground and that kind of thing. So I know as it stands on console with using excavators and stuff like that, I've always used them more in a narrative sense, and I've used something else for earth, whether it be oats or whatever it might be, to simulate earth, barley, that kind of thing. If you want to actually do some excavating, you can simulate it. But as far as these buckets having the capacity enough to move things around, load up trailers and stuff, you absolutely can. I think having the addition of the clamshell as well, I love this. I love the design of it. It's brilliant. It just looks great. So the clamshell then, like I say, if you're going to load stuff up, this is 2,500. You're almost probably better off with the bucket and the other one at 3,500. Now the only problem is with L1 and R1, you've got side to side opens and closes the clamshell and does the same with the fork, but up and down does the blade. So you've got to be very precise, push the stick up and then do side to side, and then what can happen is bring it down, close it, come on, this works. There you go. Don't do this to me. There we go. So 99%, up we go, swing it around to wherever we're going. If, like I say, if you're loading into a trailer or whatever, when you get to there, obviously there's the option, we can bring that in or out, up or down. So if you were loading into a trailer, L1, R1, I think it's great. It's great. Now, as far as the fork goes, it doesn't have straps or anything. And I did try to bring much longer log down. It will pick up logs, but they need to be a little bit shorter. Now, obviously, this will open up a fair way, so you can get some slightly larger logs in there as well if you needed to or wanted to. If you wanted to use it for logging, I know there's all sorts of other tools out there, but again, it's nice to have something different. And I love the fact it's small and compact. You don't need massive trailers to move it around. I've got a smaller trailer over there, and I could get away with something smaller. I'll show you loading onto that, because there is something else to be aware of too with that. But let's start that up. Now, obviously, I have already kind of prepared myself for this. Now, as you can see, there's a little bit of movement. You sometimes get it with mods and attachments. I notice it a lot more with the excavators and things like that. As you move the arm, the actual implement is a little bit behind in the movement. There's a little bit of slop there, but if we bring it down again, we can tilt. Hang on, let's do that, and we can tilt the head. So if I've moved it much further away and then bring it down, I can then tilt the head to get it level. That at least is the plan. And L1, R1, side to side. Let's close that, and that should pick log up. But if you don't want it sliding, obviously you need to adjust the angle of the dangle, so to speak. And there we go. We can move logs around. You can load them onto trailers if you want to load them onto trailers, but obviously not going to be, you don't want to do anything too massive, because that could cause you a few problems. Drop that down. That's that. Now, what else was I going to show you? Oh, the trailer. Yeah. So this is a fairly small trailer. But you can get away with smaller, because when you look at the actual footprint of this, it's pretty small. What we'll do, let's just bring that in, curl the bucket in, try and make it as compact as possible. Now, I would suggest, just in bringing these vehicles out here and trying a couple of different loaders and things, that you reverse on. If you go on forwards, sometimes you get a bit of track slip, depending on how high the vehicle is and how steep the thing is. It does that. a little bit annoying, because if you want to put it onto a low loader or a trailer of any description, you want it to be able to get up the ramps. Getting a bit of a run up can help. I'm going to try forwards again just to show you at full speed. There we go. So at full speed, get a bit of a run up, you're absolutely fine. If you come onto it backwards, you can use the dozer blade. If you just bring the dozer blade down a little bit and just lift just a little bit, it does help actually getting it on and off. It's just a bit of trial and error and mucking around. Now this doesn't tie down, but in bringing it on this trailer I didn't have any problems. As you can see, I've got loads of space on this trailer, and this is a fairly small one, so you can get away with smaller. Put it over the axle so it's nicely balanced, but it fits really well. Now the other thing you can do, and I didn't bring a trailer out to do this, and I should have done really, if you want to load it onto a trailer, and I would again say you want it to be fairly low, a trailer that doesn't have ramps but is fairly low to the ground, what you can do, you swing the whole thing round like so. When we bring our arm out, what you can do is bring that down, raise the front end up, and then what you can do, L1, R1, and then do that, you can kind of get yourself up to a bit of a height and almost kind of put yourself onto the trailer if you wanted to. Again, like I say, certain heights, and I have found the steeper the angle of a ramp and that kind of thing can affect it a little bit. There is a little bit of slip, but as far as it goes, for a weekend treat from FS19, it's an absolute blast as well. It's great. It's brilliant fun. I think it's fantastic. So yeah, that's the John Deere 50G and bucket pack by FS19. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.